Hello guys, welcome to this new episode of Polity where we will be learning about Preamble to the Constitution of India. Now I remember my school days when we used to recite national anthem, the pledge and also the Preamble to the Constitution of India. Now I will be asking you to learn by heart this Preamble to the Constitution of India. You have to remember that it is a Ramban or a Brahmastra. You must be knowing what's a Ramban or a Brahmastra, but very powerful weapons. So you can use this weapon, the Preamble to the Constitution of India, as a Ramban or Brahmastra in your mains examinations. How? The words in it are so much important that you can use it wherever possible. Not in every answer, but wherever possible. Also in the paper of society, you can use this. Also in the paper of sociology, you can use it. Okay. So I will be reciting the Preamble to the Constitution of India. The way I recite, the same way you have to learn this Preamble to the Constitution of India. Following the words mentioned in that preamble are going to be really important in the writing aspects especially. Okay. So I will be starting it. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the nation and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Now, as we have seen and read the Preamble to the Constitution of India, now what are its four main components? What does it reveal? The very first point it reveals is about the source of authority of the Constitution. What's the source of authority of Constitution? Let me start with the preamble. We, the people of India. So who is the authority? The authority is we, the people of India. So it states the authority. It says that the preamble of the Constitution, the Constitution itself is an authority for the people. As democracy is for the people, by the people, to the people, same is the preamble, same is the Constitution. The other factor it tells is the adoption, the date of adoption. This 26th day of November 1949. So 26th of November 1949, we adopted the Constitution. We hereby enact and give ourselves to this Constitution. So it tells about that. It tells about the nature of the Indian state. It tells secular, democratic, republic, socialist. So this is what it tells. And there is one more component. And that component is the objectives laid by the Constitution. Justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So all these 4 points it embodies. We are looking on the components, the important components of the Preamble to the Constitution of India. The first word comes is sovereignty. Now you have to understand, you must not misspell it. Many people misspell it as sovereignty. It's not sovereignty, it's sovereignty. India is both internally and externally sovereign in nature. What does it mean? For example, if there is any communal riot going on in India, it's the sole authority of the India and the Indian government to control it. No other country shall intervene and say we will control that matter because you are not sovereign in nature, or we will do that because you are not doing it well. No one can say that because India is internally sovereign. We can handle our own matters, own internal matters by our own. No country can come in between. As the point of Kashmir is also an internal matter. Moreover, external matters. For example, we have cordial relations with the other country like Bhutan, which is our neighboring country. We have cordial relations with it, and there is this particular provision that Bhutan, on specific issues, if they want to deal with some other foreign territory, other foreign country, they have to take the permission of India. Now no other country can come in between and say that Bhutan, you cannot do this, or India, you should not do this. It is the totally external matter of India, and India is capable of managing that. No other country can intervene in between. So this is what we say, internally and externally sovereign in nature. Though in the year 1949 we continued our membership to the Commonwealth of Nations, and accepted the monarch of England as the head of the Commonwealth of all the nations, but it's an extra constitutional thing, and it does not it does not limit our sovereignty. Moreover, we are a part of the institution, the bigger institution, United Nations, but it also do not limit our sovereignty as well. The other word we will be looking forward is the socialist. Now the amendment, the mini constitution amendment, that is 42nd amendment, brought into the preamble the word socialist. But for your information, we have been socialist from a very long time. Of the session of 1955, Congress adopted a resolution where they said that we will be coming up with provisions which are socialist in nature. Now there is difference between socialism conducted in other countries and that in India. We have democratic socialism, which is also known as Fabian socialism, but there is this other component which is known as state socialism or communist socialism. So we do not follow communist socialism, we follow democratic socialism. As the Supreme Court noted that democratic socialism try to eliminate poverty, disease, and it try to maintain equality of opportunity in the population. This particular democratic socialism, it believes in mixed economy, where both the private and public players are there in the market, or side by side. But in communist socialism, there is total exclusion of private property. Moreover, this particular socialism was important for India to adopt, following its diverse population and such a humongous population as well. Now the word secularism. As we have learnt earlier only, that India is a secular state. The term was added by the 42nd Amendment into the preamble to the Constitution of India, but the Supreme Court also acknowledges in the wording of 1974 in the Keshavananda Bharati case that India had been a secular state from a long time, from its time being, because we have given the article, the Constitution has given the fundamental right of religion comes between Article 25 and 28 to the citizens of the nation. And unlike the Western countries which use the Western philosophy of secularism, which differentiates between the state and the religion, we are using the positive side of secularism, the positive aspect of secularism, because we have a multi-religious society where we pay equal respect to all the religions, whether it be a religion of very few people or religion of the majority of the people. Then the other word, democratic. The democratic sense used in the preamble to the Constitution is totally based on the sovereign popular term. What is sovereign popular term? Sovereign popular term tells that the people of India are the authority of the Constitution of India. Democracy can be divided into two parts, direct democracy and indirect democracy. The form of democracy used for the people of Switzerland, used in the country of Switzerland, it's direct form of democracy where people directly get involved into the functions of the government, into the decisions of the government. This is possible because they have few tools like plebiscite, referendum, etc. And guys, it's really very important for a nation like India to have indirect democracy, because we have a very humongous population. So we have indirect form of democracy. Indirect form of democracy, here we elect representatives to the parliament who govern the country. So this is it. Then the indirect form of democracy can be divided into two parts: the representative form of the parliamentary form of democracy, and the presidential form of democracy. US has presidential form of democracy, and India has representational parliamentary form of democracy. Now what does it mean? Here the legislature and the executive have the component of collective responsibility. Collective responsibility means the legislature is responsible to the executive is responsible to the legislature. Remember that slogan: together we float, together we sink. And the democracy, the use of the word democracy not only means political, but it also means social and economical in nature. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar explained this concept in his speech, which I am reading. Political democracy cannot last unless there lies at the base of its social democracy. What does social democracy means? It means a way of life which recognizes liberty, equality, and fraternity. The principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity are not to be treated as separate items in a trinity. They form a union of trinity in the sense that that to divorce one from another is to defeat the very purpose of democracy. Liberty cannot be divorced from equality, equality cannot be divorced from liberty, nor can liberty and equality be divorced from fraternity. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative. And in the same context, the Supreme Court observed in 1997 that the Constitution envisions to establish an egalitarian social order, rendering to every citizen social, economic, and political justice in a social and economic democracy of the Bharat Republic.